Ophelia, what is the difference between a construction site and a dishwasher?
Is this a dad joke?
No, it's a science experiment. We're going to take different engineered flooring samples from all different places and put them in the dishwasher and do other tests to see how good they are.
Okay.
HDF, high density fiberboard in the middle, and we used to actually sell a product like this, and it was awful. We replaced a whole bunch of floors because what happens is the surface layer will shrink and then the base just follows it because it's just basically sawdust with glue and not much structure to it. This one's a little different because it has wood on the bottom to kind of even it out. This is like a 3-ply system. So you've got the wood on the surface, and then you have like a quarter sawn pine in the middle, and then the same wood on the bottom.
Okay.
So it's meant to be kind of structurally sound. We'll see how this one reacts. This is supposed to be waterproof.
Yep.
Right? It's called life-proof, waterproof, whatever, flooring engineered. But on the warranty, remember, it said, you know, it's excluded
What?
damage caused by water. So we'll see how this one goes. This is ours. It's a quarter sawn white oak with birch plywood backing, so it should hold up pretty well. This solid live sawn white oak, so we'll see how the solid compares to the engineered. Theoretically, this should be the least stable of our engineereds because it's really wide and it's also plain sawn. And the quarter sawn would be the most stable.
So that's the theory, okay.
That's the theory, yeah. So let's put them in the dishwasher.
Off to the dishwasher.
I'm doing a dishwasher experiment with wood. Yeah, hot water, steam. It is going to be quite an environment. Heated dry. We should do that.
So
Okay.
we're gonna see how the big box store's flooring holds up next to ours.
All right.
So we have plain, live, and quarter sawn in it.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
But the plain sawn is the engineered, quarter sawn's the engineered, and then we have the live sawn. And if the live sawn holds up well and solid, then the quarter sawn's going to hold up even better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are going to be sanitized, tough scrubbed, and extra rinsed. And then after this, I think we should do, we'll soak them in a bucket or something. Don't you think? I think it's crazy to put them in a dishwasher, but if you're on a job site and they're painting and they're doing drywall, and they're doing all that stuff, you could have like 80, 90% humidity. So in a dishwasher, it'd be 100%, obviously, but 80% and 90% is close to 100%. So our little experiment isn't that crazy if you're doing all the wrong things. Wow! Let's see what happened. This is the HDF, so that just sucks up the moisture like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Yeah, it's all wonky. Oh, look at Life Proof. It looks like a smiley face. Piece of junk. Look at, but it's not, and look at the moisture is getting into it because you can see it's turning dark there.
Ooh.
See, look. There's more that's going to happen to this thing. We got the quarter sawn.
Ooh. That looks
Actually,
good.
it's still pretty flat.
Yeah.
Well, they're all of ours are pretty flat.
Yeah.
Like this rubber, like that's always my concern, and I tell people overrating heat because you're heating it up. So if there's chemicals in the glue and in the like all the formaldehyde, it's gonna just be going up in your air. Is it sunny out?
It is, yeah, it's nice.
I'll just throw them on the back of the old truck.
And see what happens? Yeah.
Yeah, follow me.
All right.
What I'm trying to find out, I want to see if they're gonna check and crack would be one thing, or delaminate, if they delaminate. That's my biggest thing is delamination. I think I'm gonna leave them longer out here. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. I think I'll leave them outside longer in the sun to replicate in-floor radiant heat, right? Because the truck is a flatbed metal whatever. That is a cool truck, eh?
It is a nice job.
Love it. So my experiment, our experiment, we put them in the dishwasher and we put them out here for like the day to dry out.
Yep.
Then overnight, put them in a bucket of water. So now here they are. So this one, this is the HDF one. And look at it, it's just coming apart. So this is sawdust and glue, and it's starting to fit. You can see how it's wavy, there's voids, so it's probably, if I measured it, it's thicker over here on the sides and in the middle. So, and then you look at the back, it's falling apart. It ain't no good. It's not going to click together anymore. Probably if it was in a floor. This is the live sawn solid. You can see it's cupped a little bit. So the nice thing about solid hardwood, when it cups, you know what happens to it when it dries?
What?
It goes back down.
Oh.
Remember this one? Mr. Waterproof, life proof, super proof, everything proof. Look at it.
Wow.
Look at that. And it's still fairly solidly together, but it's like you put that, like this went through the same process as everything, and it's supposed to be waterproof, but I think probably the heat is what did it, but it said it's acceptable for radiant heat. But you can see it's like cracking in the middle. That ain't good. Junk. This is that one that we showed that has the two woods on the surface and then the pine in between. It's still pretty flat, eh?
Yeah, I would say like that's.
And you can see where it's picked up moisture, because that's the bucket. The water came up to like here, so it's picked up moisture, but the moisture just hasn't really affected it all that much. This one's just soggy everywhere. Look at that. See that? See the difference right here? Can you feel that?
Oh yeah.
So it's expanding, especially on the sides, and eventually, oh, look at that.
Wow. All right.
See ya.
Garbage.
Junk. This is the quarter sawn white oak, engineered. Do you see anything wrong with that?
It's perfect.
It is. It does look perfect. Like you can see the water stain right here where it's had
But it looks very
exposure to moisture, but it's flat. It's good. Yeah, that's great. This is the 9-inch engineered. It's pretty. You can see it's got some water stain, but it's been through the whole process. This would theoretically, obviously, be our least stable engineered white oak. And you can see here, there is a check, like there's some checks. Yeah, there's a check right there. So that would have been probably from the wood expanding, and then the heat and the sun caused the surface to shrink, but the base wouldn't let it. So you get a fine little check in there. But with a wire brush finish, you're not going to really notice that. So this is held up. This is held up really well.
Yeah.
That's the temperature out here, so it's 88. I mean, obviously, so far we've learned. What have we learned? This is the quarter sawn white oak.
I would say this is probably the most stable.
Yeah, it is the most stable, number one. Okay, so the gold medal winner is this guy, quarter sawn white oak, engineered birch plywood, our stuff, beautiful, stable, amazing. These have both held up really well. Obviously, like this one's a lot wider. This is 6.5, this is 9, so it's significantly wider. It does have, you know, the little check, the little wee, see that little tiny little wee check there? So it's got that. This has, you can see where it has picked up some moisture. The birch plywood is pretty moisture resistant.
Yeah.
So this has picked up some moisture, but it hasn't really affected it all that much. Actually, you can see right here a little bit of separation. You see that? I never noticed that before, right? See how it's tight here? Then there's a little gap here. So it is starting to separate. I would give this the bronze. Well, don't you think? Like, what's wrong with this? There's a little check, whereas this one's starting to separate a little bit. Gold, silver, bronze, and you know what? This bad boy, give it a few days, it's gonna come back down and be perfect again. Live sawn, white oak, solid. Yeah, overall, I mean, I would say our stuff has been pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
And this life-proof, warped, everything-proof, perfect junk. Look at it. Oh! I'm not even that strong. Maybe I am. It's waterproof, but it's the warranty doesn't cover water damage. So look at that. I'm gonna throw it down again. That's everything.